it's difficult when you're firing somebody, right? I always say, unless they've like assaulted you or like stolen a lot of money from you, right?
Yeah.
They're good people, right? And you know this is like someone's livelihood that you're messing with. But you have to feel okay that you did everything you possibly could to train this person up, to support them, to give them the opportunity to do well and thrive in your practice, right? And some people just don't, right? So if you get to that point, I had a doctor who was firing somebody, and the doctor's like, I just cried the whole time. We like hugged it out, and I cried, and I was like, oh gosh, that was like her first firing. So people think sometimes that I'm cold-hearted, but you have to take the emotion out of it, right? It's not personal.
Right.
You might really like this person, but they just might not be great in the job or the right fit for your practice. So like, yeah, okay. I used to, for a while, and again, remember, I was young and I was so green. So I had to learn from mistakes sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And so now I just I prepare myself. Like, it's not personal. I did this, and this for you. Like, I appreciate everything you did for me. They start crying. I just push the tissues across the table, give them a minute, give them a minute to do it. And then it's really important that you show support. Like, this is hard for them because you don't know really what's going on for them. So I don't care if it's the first person you're letting go or the 50th person. It's not easy to do, right?
Yeah.
So that's important, but you can't get all emotional in that meeting. And as a new manager, remember, especially if you're promoted from within, some of these might be your friends. They were your equals before. If you have to do it, that's a real challenge.
And I would also caution, the less you say, the better. Because it could go legal in any situation. So the less you say, the better. And whatever you say should also be documented. And there's a reason why people get fired over Zoom. It's recorded. Everything's there, right?
Yeah.
But I think the respectful piece too is, you don't want to commiserate, but you also don't want to say anything like, well, if you had done this, no, nothing like that. Just, you have a job to do that day, get rid of them, and that's it. And I remember talking to somebody, another manager, and something that she said was like, before the firing, she's like, this person's always going to remember me. And I was like, yeah, she is. Like, I think back, I've been fired from one job. I was 15 and a half, and looking back, I deserve to be fired. I was not great at the job. Lots of reasons, but not great. But I remember her face, and I remember the office, and I remember the chair I was sitting in, and I remember her tone. I remember everything about her. So managers, everybody you fire is going to have that same memory of you, and you've got to be okay with it. So the less you say, the better, and document everything you say. You know what sucks, Michelle? I've had to fire people I didn't agree with the firing.
Yes, that's hard.
That was rough because I understood, but I didn't agree. I feel like, and especially there was one doctor, I feel like she could have worked a little harder to save that employee. I saw potential. It was a client, and I was really actually kind of sad. And I wanted to help this person, but I can't be like, okay, well, so she's fired, but I think you're fine and call me later. Like, I wanted to say all those things. But as a manager, if you don't agree with a firing, you make your case, but remember whose practice it is, right? Like, this is the job you've been hired to do. If that's what pushes you over the edge to leave, then that's fine, but you're there to do a job.
Would you like to hear more? Follow the link for the full episode.